The sun rose over Ponyville. Ah, silencia, Kamaya. What was that a reference to? I don't know. It's the opening song to The Lion King. They. Actual words spoken by some riffers online, folks. Send help! And Spike rose with it. He squinted his eyes against the brightful light of Celestia's orb. Booty, booty, booty everywhere. Booty, booty, booty. Not that orb. He lay there in its radiance, basking in the warmth for a while. It was just a beautiful day. The perfect follow-up for last night's event. Spike rolled over to look at his side. Rarity had fallen asleep, cuddled up next to him. Their tails were wrapped together and the hoof was stretched across his chest. He smiled at his unicorn. She was so beautiful in the morning light. Her hair was still wet from last night's steamy shower. The soft violet locks fanned over her shoulder and eyes. Spike felt the grumble in his stomach. He hadn't eaten it all yesterday, and that bottle of cider hardly counted as a meal. He carefully set the Rarity's hoof off his chest and slowly sat up. His body was stiff and aching. Falling asleep on the hard balcony wasn't helping his injuries. He cracked his back as he stood, then looked at his love. She was busy wincing as he laid on the ground, her snow-white coat shimmering in the breeze. He smiled softly as the musical tones of her quiet snores resonated in his ears. How did he ever get so lucky? He bent down and placed a small kiss on the sleeping mare's cheek. I'll always be there for you, Rarity, I promise, he whispered. I know you will. Spike was startled as the white mare turned over and stared at him with sleepy eyes. You call that a kiss? She smiled, grabbing his neck and pulling him in for another kiss. His lips were warm and gritty, but she didn't care. She loved her dragon. Their lips parted as Rarity curled back up on the floor, quickly succumbing to slumber once more. After the past 6 nights, her body insisted she needed her beauty sleep. Spike walked into the house and headed down the stairs. He was not prepared for the scene that awaited him at the bottom. It looked like a manticore had been released in the library. Furniture was broken, food was smeared everywhere, and the ponies were passed out all around. Dang, pigs! What type of pie did you have? I don't know, but I am not this messy. Oh, you're not cleaning this up. Nurse Susie, I will be there. Why am I there helping? I mean, parties are supposed to be fun, not overly messy, and no pony gets to have fun cleaning up. No pony wants to do that. I am a professional, Vic. As he looked at the disaster, Spike slowly stepped over Berry Punch. She had passed out in what looked like an empty punch bowl. That pony sure does love her punch. Over by a desk, a dark purple unicorn was buried in a pile of books. Spike brushed away a couple of them and revealed Twilight. She had fallen asleep on her favorite books, sleeping in a puddle of her own drool. The dragon sighed. Only you, Twilight, only you. He sat roughly at the unicorn's mane as he made his way around her. He heard a loud snoring from above him. Rainbow had suddenly gotten herself stuck on the ceiling, as he was laying on it as he was sleeping on the ground. Deciding to ignore for now, would figure out how she got up there later. His stomach rumbled again, and decided to see if there was any food left. To his luck, there was an enormous cake that remained largely untouched. He walked over to the giant cake, eyeing it hungrily. It was about the size of a pony, it was so big. Getting a better look at it, he could see the face of a dragon made with amethysts and emerald crystals. Spike smiled as he recognized the handsome dragon. He took a scoop of the delicious cake and stuffed it in his mouth. In Rarity or Twilight seeing him eat like this, he would never hear the end of it. He reached in for the cake for another scoop when he felt something odd. It was something furry and soft. Curious, the dragon started to dig deeper into the cake, finally revealing a round pink flank adorned with 3 party balloons. Pinky? He asked, turning the cake around. The pony's head stuck out of the back of the cake, and her mane and face completely covered in frosting. I want to ask for permission first! As he got into a cake and fallen asleep, he hadn't the slightest clue. But I just forward the cake! Why am I doing this? That's a coronation of a perfectly good cake! That is cake-decide! Of course it was pointless to try and figure out the pink mare. He headed to the kitchen and saw it wasn't spared disasters of last night. Okay, why didn't Twilight get any pony out? Vic, can we have a talk? Twilight is too OCD to allow ponies to mess up her house this much. There's no way Twilight would do this. Big Mac had passed out with his head in the open fridge. What? You just now noticed? How big is that fridge? Avalon was asleep on top of Applejack. He looked down on the ground to see a gray Pegasus with her head stuck in a brown paper bag. He bent down and pulled the bag off. Derpy? Yes, pulled the bag off. Me, Spike, she said very loudly. She fluttered back to her feet, covered in blue and red stains and smelling of berries. It was a green pine, she hollered. Oh, keep it down, will you? He asked, looking at all the sleeping ponies. So what happened here? Oh, you're so cool, she said. You're so many muffins, and I ate about 30. And then I went to the kitchen, and there was these cool paper bags. So I put one on my head, but it slipped around my face until it got really dark. So I fell asleep, and when you took it off my head, it was sparking. So I woke up. She explains, her eyes drifted around her head. Okay, said the dragon, a little confused about what the male pony just said. And apparently the author forgot a comma here and there. Yeah, she said proudly, looking at the time clock. Oh dear, I had to work. Later, Spike, and happy birthday! She flew out the window, shouting it on her way out. It's not my birthday, the dragon tried to say, but the male mare was long gone. He gave a small laugh as he headed back into the library. It really was a gigantic mess. He decided he might as well start cleaning, since Twilight would make him do it anyway. He headed to the closet to grab the broom and dustpan, but had to dodge 2 ponies tumbling from inside. Lyra got up first, rubbing her head from the fall. Ow, my head, she moaned. Bonbon rolled beside her, smiling from 2 below. Morning, Spike. Where did you go off to last night? She asked. Spike smiled at his 2 friends. I told you, I went to get some fresh air. I bet that's not all you got, Lyra said with a grin as she helped Bonbon up from the ground. We saw Rarity follow you up the stairs. That's all you saw? Yep, Bonbon said. Wait, did something happen between you two? Well, Celestia, Bonbon grasped. Did something happen between you two? Lyra gave a devil's grin. Congratulations, Spike, she shouted as both mares presented him a big hug. You finally got laid. I'm so proud of you. Ha ha, mocked Spike. Is that sarcasm I hear? Well, duh, snickered Lyra. Have you ever expected anything less from us? Point taken. So tell us, Spike, how is she in the sack? Actually, I bet she's a screamer, said Lyra. We didn't. Lyra, she can't be a screamer or we would have heard it, argued Bonbon. Guys, we didn't. How would you know that? She's so uptight at all times. We didn't. Bonbon rolled her eyes. Doesn't matter. All I'm saying was with me and her, I make her scream, she said devilishly. Really, you're a rarity. What can I say? Bonbon said, grinning at her mare. I have a thing for unicorns. Lyra returned her mare simper with a nasty grin. You do, she said, whipping Bonbon's flank over her silver tail. The cream-colored pony stared into her lover's eyes. Eager, aren't we? Last night in the closet was enough for you? Wait, started the dragon. What were you doing in the closet? They ignored him. And remember, folks, my fic, every pony was thinking only about sex. You know, the fic where only 2 ponies had sexual fantasies, and every pony else was busy in those early chapters doing something else. I was the one. Some people just need to read more. You know how I get in the morning, Bonbon, said Lyra, selling her pony. Guys, what were you doing in the closet? The dragon asked, its tone growing more worried. Maybe we need to do something about that, Lili, could the earth pony as he slowly started to kiss her lover. Guys, said the dragon, what did you do in the closet? Oh, what do you think, Spike? Oh, you know, said Bonbon. Just 7 minutes in heaven. More like 7 hours of heaven. Spike grins as a disgusted look washed over his face. Great, now I have to clean the closet. Hey, said Lyra defensively, we didn't make that big of a mess. And lighten up, it was a party after all, said Bonbon. Besides, you did it on the balcony. We didn't do it on the balcony, said Spike. There was a moment of silence. Oh, Lyra finally said. Yeah, said Spike. Anyway, since you two are awake, you can help me clean this place up. Hey, look at the time, said Bon Bon, checking the invisible watch on her leg. We gotta go, nudging Lyra out the door. Oh yeah, Lyra said, getting the idea. We're busy making out, she said, jumping on her mare friend. See you, Spike, said Bon Bon, between the kisses of Lyra was bombarding her with. You know, I think I might have found a joke more annoying with Lyra than her human fixation. I didn't think it was possible, Fick. I thought that doing Lyra as a human-obsessed character was the most annoying thing you could pull off with a fic. But I was wrong! This is more annoying than human-obsessed Lyra. This right here, this is more annoying! Spike rolled his eyes as the two scrambled at the door. He looked at the closet with consciousness in his heart. He slowly walked inside. Spike was not expecting to see what he found. Fluttershy? He asked. The timid yellow Pegasus was hidden in the back of the closet behind the brooms in the vacuum. Her eyes were wide and bloodshot. A look of total terror struck on her face. Her entire body was shaking. What were you? He stated, stopping a sudden realization to him. They didn't know you were in the closet today. Fluttershy quickly shook her head. How big is that closet? How would you... I need to be right back. This is baffling. The things they did, she muttered, dry tears rolling down her blood-cracked eyes. I never seen a horn use that way before, she mumbled before, finally passing out, landing face first on the ground with a thud. Poor thing, Spike said. He lifted her unconscious body from the ground and put her into his room. Thankfully, it had been spared the chaos of the party. He carefully placed the distressed mare on his bed and tucked her in. Fluttershy turned to her in sleep and snored softly. Just as Spike was about to leave, he felt a rumbling in his belly. It crawled up his throat, burst out his throat, and out of his mouth in a puff of green fire and smoke. The scroll landed softly in his hand. He checked the stamp crest, a look of surprise creeping into his face. A message for the princess, he thought, but Twilight wasn't expecting a letter. He slowly opened the letter. To Spike? He scratched his head as he read the letter. Dear Spike, I apologize for mailing this on such short notice, but it's the utmost importance that you come to Canterlot immediately. I am well aware of your entries, so I sent my private chariot for you, and you should be arriving there shortly. I hope that you arrive with haste. Also, it's very important that we do not alert Twilight and the others of this message. Why? Or bring them with you to Canterlot. They will be alerted to the situation when we feel the time is right. That's right, sideline to Justice League. Why not? Jeans. That's right, sideline to Sailor Scouts. Send in Momo-chan. Jeans. That's right, sideline to Fairy. Send in the Red Fountain Boys. Jeans. That's right. Sideline, not a co. Send in a bunch of mech mobile suits. What's this all about? Wondered Spike as he folded his letter and placed it at his desk. Suddenly there was a loud dark on the door. I wonder who could that be? He said sarcastically. He stepped over the sleeping mares and calmed as he approached the front door of the library. And opened to reveal the two large unicorn stallions, both adorned in royal Canterlot armor. Spike the dragon, I presume? The guard asked. Know any other good domestic dragons? Well, there is Mina back at Philly. It's him, Kerproof, the air guard said to his partner. Ignoring his partner, Kerproof turned back to Spike. Spike the dragon, you are hereby ordered by the royal sisters of Canterlot to report to the castle immediately. Yeah, I got the letter, groaned the dragon. But could somebody please tell me what's going on? Apparently Celestia wants you! She just wants to see you! It could be anything, Spike! Why are you being so bitchy? That's classified information. It's just that Celestia wants to see you. Well then, I guess we're not going anywhere, Spike said, staring into the card's cold eyes. Spike! It's Celestia! You know her! She's been there in part of your life for ages! Why are you being an asshole? Easy there, Kerpoof, said a mysterious yet familiar voice. I think you're overwhelming the guy. Wait, you sound familiar, Spike said as he peeked over the two giant ponies. How big are... Well, I hope so, the voice said. The two giant guard ponies... What are these? How big are they? Revealing a smaller, yet quite still tall white unicorn. His blue eyes were filled with care, sharply contrasted by the bright red military suit that was embellished with a silver buckle and a familiar purple star. You work for my sister. Shiny armor? Spike said, baffled by his sudden appearance to baffle Spike. Yes, said Shiny Armor, his tone growing less cheery. And I hope me being here shows you how dire the situation is, and why you need to come with us right now. Ah, good. Spike knows Shining Armor. He's practically Twilight's little brother, so Spike should know and care and should be willing to go with Shining Armor. I mean, at least he understands. Look, Shiny, Spike said, scratching the back of his head. As great as it is to see you again and all, I just can't go to Care-a-Lot. My friends need me. What? Come again, Spike! Come again. I just can't go to Care-a-Lot. My friends need me. You go to Care-a-Lot all the fucking time. You could get a train ticket. I go to Care-a-Lot. Twilight could teleport you there. Twilight goes to Care-a-Lot. It's literally a few miles away. I can see it outside my window. You've visited Care-a-Lot a couple of times in the show. It's not that big of a deal, Spike. Just go there, learn what Celestia needs for you, and go back. I understand you care for your friend, Spike. Oh, no. You see, he focused on Rarity. He only cares about her. Replied Armor. It's only getting more serious, but we need you to come. We have to start your training immediately. Training? Wondered the dragon. Training for what? I'm not leaving unless somebody tells me what the hell is going on. Just go! The captain does not need to answer to a civilian, said Kerpoof. Isn't that his decision? You're coming with us, even if I have to drag your beaten ass all the way back to the castle. No, sir, Kerpoof finished a sentence. Spike grabbed him by the throat and pinned his back to the door of the rain. Wow, real mature there, Spike. Oh, well, wait, what am I doing? I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Excuse me a sec. Okay. I'm beating myself up now. Now I can think like an emo twit. Wow! How daring! How dark! How mature he's being! That's enough, yelled the other guard, turning around as he bucked Spike right in the stomach. You know, Spike, you kinda had that coming. Spike fell back, groaning in pain as he released Kerb from his leathery grip. You okay, Kerpoof? He asked. I'm fine, Duster. He grumbled as he picked himself up from the ground. He just caught me by surprise, that's all. I see, said Duster. He went to Spike. Sorry I had to do that. But you left me no choice. Forget it! Grunted Spike, his stomach killing him from the kick. Call it a dragon's rage. Shining Armor stepped forward. If there will be no more interruptions, he began, we should be leaving soon. Fine, muttered Spike as he picked himself up. Let me get a few things. Hurry. Dragon ignored him as he approached his room. Fluttershy was still fast asleep in his bed, muttering something about a broom handle not being used for that. He shivered as he thought of what those two might have done to freak her out so badly. He grabbed his bag he used for gem collecting with Rarity and stuffed some random items. Rarity. How could he just up and leave her after saying he would always be there for her? You're just going to Canterlot! You're not going to Saudi Arabia! You're not heading to Napon! You were just heading to the nearest mountain, you dork! Ah! Why are you doing this, Mike? You're just a train ride away! That's like me saying, I'm leaving all my friends and family when I'm going to the next town over. This is not that dramatic. At least you're not saying anything about how fate would separate you two. Of course fate was separating when they're finally together. You! Over-emotional emo twit! There had to be something you could do, but what? Fluttershy snoring in her sleep as Spike had an idea. Oh my god, he's gonna fuck Fluttershy! He quickly ran to his desk, grabbed a quill and a piece of paper. Dear everybody, I quit. He quickly scribbled a few sentences on the paper, wrapped it up in a tube. He looked around the room, stinking the message into Fluttershy's open mouth. And now he's suffocating her. There was a knock. Hurry up in there, a hushed voice called. Spike quickly grabbed his bag and opened the door. Curve was standing in his way. Amber eyes focused on the dragon. Spike tried to get past him, but a stubborn pony stood there in his way. Curve lifted Spike's ear. If you ever touch me again, I will buck you and cut you like a pig, he whispered. You know, Spike hissed back, I've always wondered what pony tasted like. Our peaceful dragon, everybody. The two stared daggers into each other's eyes, refusing to back down. You two ready to go? Asked Duster from the door. Yeah, said Spike, forcing his way past the stubborn pony. As Spike was heading out to the door until Flying Terry awaiting him, Rarity was the only thing on his mind. She was so enchanting to him. A perfect chimney finally attained, and he had to let it go. For a few days! I'm sorry, Rarity, he whispered to himself, looking back at the treehouse with sorrow. The letter he wrote would hopefully help his friends comprehend everything. He knew that Twilight would understand. It was Rarity that had wordy. Spike had finally confessed his love for her, and she to him. Now he's being whisked away for Celestia knows what. You know, Spike, what if Celestia just wants tea? What if Celestia found your family? Would you still be this bitchy? Looked out the window as he ascended in the air. The world better be ending, he muttered, having no idea how right he was. It was a short trip to Canterlot. The second Spike had landed on the ground, he was quickly escorted to the royal palace. Please, hurry. Your presence is required in the Hall of Elements, said Shining Armor as he exited the chariot. Please follow us and we will escort you to the princesses. The party of war walked with haste across the courtyard to the castle. Spike noticed that a large number of ponies in military armor were gathering there for drills. That's a lot of ponies, Spike said. They're mostly new recruits, said Dusty from the side. The princesses are called to royal forces and have even ordered one mare or stallion from every family in Canterlot to join the royal army. Just Canterlot? Oh, what about the other towns? Damn, Spike said in awe. Whatever the situation was, it didn't look good. What could be so important that they had to draft ponies for the military? Passing the trained ponies, the group headed to the castle. Standing in the halls were two princesses, Celestia, tall and white, and their sister, Luna, a dark nighttime blue. Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, Shining Armor said, as the other two guards bowed in respect. Spike quickly took a knee as well, but felt a sharp pain in his wounded area. Spike, why are you taking a knee? Care to explain that, honey? Care to explain that? Spike, care to tell that? Care to tell that to me? Please, please, Rise, Spike, said Princess Celestia. Her normally happy voice was serious and blunt. She looked to the others. Thank you, Captain Armor. You are dismissed. Shiny nodded as he, Duster, and Clubhoof left the hall. Celestia looked to the dragon. Follow us, Spike. We have much to talk about. The two alicorns started down the hall, Spike following close behind. They soon entered a long room with many stained glass windows that created stories, telling the history of Equestria. You see, Spike, Celestia started, a threat has been made against the Canterlot and all of Equestria. Again? You mean like the Teasley attack? Asked Spike. Luna shook her head. We fear it'll be worse than not, she said, walking up to a potted plant beside the only blank window in the entire room. As you know, we have always ruled Equestria with peace and tolerance, expecting the same from our neighboring countries. And our legacy has been seen on these very walls, said Celestia, looking around the room. Spike did the same. He noticed many window paintings were dedicated to the princesses and major events that happened to Equestria over the years. There were stained glass paintings of Discord, Nightmare Moon, and of course his friends. He also noticed there was a single one with his picture in it, which annoyed him slightly. Give it a season. But Luna began talking. By the way, Spike, do you know the reason why your picture's not there? Do you know why? You want to know why? Bring your little ear fin closer. You're not a main character! The show is called My Little Pony, not My Little Dragon. You're not that big of a presence. You know what you are, Spike? You are a side character. You are the delivery boy. You are the sidekick. The character who helps out once in a while. Oh, sure, we'll give you an episode once in a while. You know, to make everybody remember that you're still there. And to give you a plot point. You know, maybe a little character development here and there. But beyond that, you are a side character. You are a side note. You are a little bitty star on the side character list. You are that. Live with it. Embrace it. Why do you think I gave you that role? It was a lesson to everybody. It's okay for you to be a side character in your story. You don't always need to be the main character to be important, Spike. Deal with it. My sister and I have been receiving visits of darkness in the future, and that only a lone dragon, a champion among the ponies, would be able to stop it, she said, staring at Spike. We believe you are our savior, Spike. Spike couldn't comprehend what he was hearing. He was the last hope for pony kind. That's impossible, stuttered Spike. I'm just an assistant, not a warrior. Celestia gave a grim smile. Not according to everybody in the not according to many people in the fandom. I think a group of certain dog would say otherwise, she said. How's he find out about that? He wondered. Well, it's still only a vision. Maybe it's nothing, he said. That is the reason you ought to be here, said Luna. We wish to debunk on visions. Luna twisted the pot and began to shake as it sunk into the wall behind it. Soon all the walls around the room began to shift and fall around them until a new hallway revealed. Follow us, said Celestia as she and her sister walked down the passageway. Spike obeyed and followed them. The hall was dark and dusty, as if nobody had been down here for years. After what seemed like an eternity of walking in the dark through spiderwebs, they approached the large metal door with the symbol of the sun and moon carved in the metal. The rulers approached the door and their horns began to glow. A beam of light shot out each of their horns, penetrating the door. There was the sound of something unlocking and gear shifting. Then the large metal door creaked open. As they entered the room, Spike saw a lone box sitting on the table. Celestia approached the box and stood by its side, her sister following suit. Spike, this is why we brought you here. I need you to touch the box, said Celestia. Spike was dumbstruck. What? Said the dragon, not believing what he was hearing. You dragged me all the way from Ponyville, from Rarity, who have finally got into a relationship, just to touch a box? Yes, she said simply. Stop being a bitch! Okay. The dragon sighed, looking blankly at the strange little box. There didn't seem to be anything wrong with it. Alright then, let's get this over with, he said as he walked up to and touched the dark little box. Oh, by the way, is all of this aggression against the requests of somebody supposed to be, Spike being awesome and dark and all that? Is that supposed to make me go, yeah, you give it to her, Spike? Because it's not. It makes me want to bitch slap him! Suddenly there was an explosive white light that erupted from the box. He was overtaken by the light, screaming and writhing as radiant beams danced around the room. The light seemed to crawl up his body into his mouth. Soon his eyes were glowing the same colored light. He looked up at the two princesses. See? This is what you get for taking to Gom Jabbar. I guess you're not the head Considerac or anything. Help me! He screamed, as the two stood unmoving, observing his very move. Why should I? I mean, what's going on with you? We cannot interfere, Spike, said Celestia, trying hard to be heard from above the purple dragon's agony. You must do this on your own. Spike felt his entire body burning, as if he were on fire. He started to cough, a strange glowing liquid coming up as his vision went dark. He soon collapsed to the ground. The princesses lifted the unconscious dragon. Is he okay, sister? He will be, answered Celestia. We just had to hope he could pull through. Luna looked to her host. I still wish we could help him, she said. I hope he can help us, said Celestia. Someone is riding on this dragon, and I fear he'll be no match for this evil. So what do we do now? Asked Luna. Make fun of him while he's knocked out, of course. And then take him one of his bedrooms, her sister said. After this, he deserves a good explanation. Very well, said Luna, taking back at the dragon. Sister, look! She was pointing at Spike's neck. A blinding string of white energy formed around the dragon's neck, wrapping around his gullet. Soon the light died down to a sparkling golden chain around his neck. At the base of the chain, a purple and green heart-shaped diamond glimmered with faint glow. Just as I feared, said Celestia, an urgency in her voice. Sister, should you be getting the guards? Luna bit her lower lip. Do I have to? He's so adorable when he's asleep. Luna! Oh, not enough, sister, she giggled as he walked away. It's the end of the world. Have a sense of humor. Shouldn't that be Celestia's job? Celestia's the more silly of the two sisters. You know this, right? Spike awoke, standing in a strange and shadowy room. He looked around the darkness, trying to feel his way through the black gaze. Hello? He called out. Princess Luna? Celestia? There's no answer. He went blindly into the darkness, going deeper into the shadows. The gloom around him seemed to shift around him like a fog, cluttering his mind. Well, he wouldn't give for a torch. Wait a second, he said, face-palming himself. It was a dragon that could breathe fire. He took a deep breath and spat out a small green orb of gooey flames to his hand. Dragon spit. It ain't pleasant, but it burns, he said, chuckling to himself. When his new torch made his way through the darkness, he continued walking aimlessly in the murk, when suddenly a demonic laugh broke the silence. I'm here, people! Spike turned in every direction, trying to find the source of the noise. It seemed to be coming from every direction. It gave another sinister chuckle. Snicker, snicker! The light was getting closer. Spike felt a shiver crawl down his spine as the laughter grew louder and louder. Who's there? Show yourself! The dragon screamed as he sprung around, lasting his arms around as he tried to hit the source of the laughter. The voice seemed to acknowledge him, heckling the dragon further. The shadows around Spike were beginning to get thicker as they seemed to take on a form. For the black clouds, a large alicorn appeared to emerge from the haze. His coat and horn were the same color as fog. His red, snake-like eyes seemed to float in the shadows as they approached the dragon. A razor-white smile cut through the haze as the alicorn finally made himself visible to the dragon. You know what I find funny? There are riffers out there who really did believe that, well, apparently Legendbringer made me into this. But guess what? He's only writing my description from the fic. Surprised? Riffers? I know you're out there. Oh, wait. I forgot. Legendbreaker stole me. No, he didn't. He asked Flim Flam Brothers for me. I have the receipts. Or do you take it whenever somebody asks for permission, it's stealing? If so, you're an idiot! Oh, so, the Alicorn said, his voice deep and playful, like a condescending older brother. You're the dragon that's going to save your Calestria? His face moved and started to laugh again. Ha ha ha! My, they must be getting desperate. I mean, look at you. You're still a hatchling. The dragon gritted his fangs. He hated being called a baby or anything like that. The Alicorn was still laughing. Oh no! The mighty dragon, the Alicorn said sarcastically, dropping to his knees, assuming a false begging position. I've been a bad pony, and I deserve to be punished. Ooh. He fell back laughing, hearing the shivering ground disappearing in a puff of smoke. What the? Said Spike, looking to where the Alicorn was. He had completely vanished. Looking for someone? Said the Alicorn as he leapt up on Spike's shoulder. The dragon jumped up in surprise as the Alicorn flipped in the air, landing in front of him. Oh God, I hate this guy! Yeah, you do. Why did you bring me? Why did you remember why you sicked me on Starfleet? Who are you? Spike demanded, bringing his hand a flaming dragon spit. I had a name once, said the Alicorn, scratching at his hoof. Back when I was all goody two-shoes and butterfly farts. Something is wrong with you, Spike said bluntly. Why, thank you for noticing me, the Alicorn said cheerfully. But 3,000 years of imprisonment can do that to you. He spun around, disappearing again. He reappeared, floating above Spike. He spun as the sinister specter disappeared again, only to jump as the Alicorn appeared again, flying above his shoulders. But I'm getting ahead of myself, he said, turning upside down as he stared into Spike's eyes. So tell me, Spike, do you think you could stop me? How do you know my name? Asked the dragon. Oh, I know a lot about you. I know when you were born, that you lived with a borderline sociopathic pony, and that just last night you finally made it with your squeeze. He stretched out that last part. Rarity! Screamed the dragon. Ah, yes, the Rarity, he cooed. I have to hand it to you. You do know how to find a fine piece of ass! Don't you ever call her that! Snapped Spike. He wound up his arm as he hurled the green flob at the Alicorn, who exploded in green flames. Really? Said the Alicorn from behind him. You thought that would work. Now, back to your little buck, buddy. I swear to Celestia. Let me think. Does she look anything like this? He asked, a shadow forming at his side. Soon they formed the shape of a small unicorn. Rarity fell from the shadows. Rarity! Cried Spike, ran to her side, trying to help her up. Are you okay? Much to his stung surprise, he slapped away his claw. Get the scrawny little lizard claws away from me! She scurried away from the astonished dragon and ran back to the dark Alicorn. Rarity, what's wrong? The dragon asked. Oh, what's wrong, Spiky? The Alicorn asked him humorously. Relationship troubles? It grabbed Rarity's face and stuck its slithering, dark tongue into her mouth. Spike fell to his knees as he watched the two. He listened to her moan with pleasure and ecstasy, begging him for more, to do more. He dropped down to all four. His heart shattered as he watched his love grope another pony. I remember looking at my riffers, guys, and they said the silliest thing. They said I added, that I turned Dark Conquest into a rapist. That I made him into this. that all this that I did to their OC was me. Please, the only thing I gave him was his fourth wall breaking abilities. Why? Asked Rarity, breaking away from the Alicorn's mouth. Do you really think I could love you? That any pony could love you? She laughed. You're a monster, you dumb dragon. I would never love such a foul creature. She gave the dragon an evil glance and sinister smile. A tear rolled down Spike's scarred eye. This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, the dragon begged. The Alicorn walked up to Spike and gently lifted his head up. Trust me, he said, his smile growing more and more foul, showing up his sharp white teeth. It will be. His arm began to glow red, and he reared up on his hind legs. He raised his right hoof as a shadowy red aura in the shape of a claw flickered around it. Ta-ta, dragon! He snickered as he slashed at the defeating Spike. Spike winced as to what he thought would be his end. Surprisingly, he looked up. I saw white shields around him. The Alicorn jumped back as his red claw withered away, all humor from his face gone. Well, said the Alicorn bluntly, I may have underestimated you. I didn't realize you stole my old necklace. Necklace? Spike asked. He looked down and saw a golden chain with a green and purple gem at the base of the necklace around his neck. The Alicorn sighed. Well, I guess we'll have to meet in real life before I kill you. He said, So, since you'll be living, be a lamb and deliver a message to your lovely princesses, will you? He didn't wait for Spike to respond. Tell them that I'm coming for a visit next month, he said, smiling at the Sun Dragon, and tell them I'm bringing friends. What? Blurted Spike. Till next time, Spike! The Alicorn weighed down as he slowly drifted back into the shadows, into the pitch blackness. Oh man, I was wild and crazy back in my high school years, wasn't I? Conquest? Remember, I have a Fluttershy. Oh, I know. Spike woke up with a scream. He was lying in a large silk-sheeted bed with a purple bedroom. Standing over him were two concerned-looking princesses. Spike, you're awake. That's a good sign, said Celestia. Spike was still panting from the experience. What the hell was that? Demanded the dragon. It was a Pandora box, an ancient device that can force you to communicate with Eva. We don't like to use it, as it can have nasty side effects, said Luna. So you made me use it? Screamed Spike. Seriously, what the hell? They made you do nothing! They gave you a choice, you purple-scaled, green-finned, emo, whiny asshole! We're sorry, but we need you to see it. We need you to see what we're up against, said Luna, lowering her head. I hope you can forgive us. I forgive you guys, you did nothing. It's Spike who's being a whiny bitch. Regardless, said Celestia, steering her subject back to Spike. What did you see? The dragon scratched his head. He saw terrible things in his mind once more. Shadowy fog, the black alicorn, and his prophecy, and Rarity. The betrayal of his sweet Rarity. His neck felt heavy. He looked down and saw the necklace that had saved his life. What is this? He asked the princesses. It's an ancient artifact, said Celestia. We don't have time for this. Tell us what you saw! I saw a shadowy land, full of darkness and fog, Spike explained to them. I was walking around, then a large black alicorn appeared from the shadows. By the sun, gasped Celestia. The mighty white alicorn almost seemed terrified. Luna, it's Conquest. Who's Conquest? Said Spike. Did he say anything? Yelled Celestia. The stress of her voice and fear on her face was clear as day. Spike, did he give you a message? The dragon gulped a lump down his throat. He said he'll be visiting in a month. He'll be bringing friends. No! No! She screamed, thrashing Riley as he bucked a giant hole in the wall. What's wrong with her? Spike asked Celestia. Conquest, or Creator as he once known. She started to drift off. Luna, who is he? She finally took a shadowy breath. Spike. Conquest is... our brother! Da da